We will start with the sky report. Tony?
That's right. And this month, I hope to introduce you to the wonders of nature, so you'll actually go outside and observe. And we'll start with the first one. Remember, this coming Sunday, daylight saving time happens. Salvador Dali and the persistence of memory will help us remember to set our clocks ahead before you sleep Saturday night. And it also reminds you what you're going to feel like about the middle of the week following. Okay, the other really big thing from here is the start of spring. So on March 20th at 3:45 in the afternoon, spring will begin, and I'm sure we'll have our traditional sunset, well, actually noon observance, which now gets shifted to 1 o'clock so we can actually show it while we're open, and sunset 6 hours later at 7 o'clock, so that you can actually see the sun set directly west, as it only does on the equinox, okay? Now something else is happening, a big deal, although we can't see any of it from here, but a few hours earlier, before spring on the 20th, there's a total solar eclipse that's visible only from the North Atlantic and Arctic Ocean and passes across a small island.
Does anybody know what this island is? Anybody? No. I heard it, yes. Excellent. A poster. we had to go look it up, and we're like, Svalbard. Who's ever heard of it?
Is anyone going there? No. But there are actually travelers going to go see this eclipse, and they expect the population of that island to go from 5,000 to 13,000 because of the number of people going to see it. And it starts off from Newfoundland and ends at the North Pole.
There's something crazy about that. On the spring equinox, and the path ends at the North Pole.
Yeah, yes, the sun
totally
is...
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Earth is, anyway. Yeah, very cool.
That's where the Terminator is.
Yeah.
Here we actually see what the shadow looks like, the penumbra and the umbra of the moon's shadow. The umbra is where the total eclipse is visible. Now, we'll also, actually, just one more picture of the eclipse here.
Oh, Svalbard.
Oh, that got taken out. Oh, okay. Here's the island. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, right. Because we looked it up, and that's what Google Maps has for the satellite view of Svalbard.
We couldn't find any roads.
And its major city,
yeah.
Spitsbergen.
Spitsbergen, yeah.
Now, the guy who designed this building back in the 1930s, Russell Porter, was also a polar explorer before he got into astronomy, and he was shipwrecked on this island for 2 years with an expedition. Anyway, this is a picture. This is an actual photograph at the South Pole back in 2003. And it shows a total eclipse that occurred there. So you'd see exactly the same thing, maybe different shaped corona, but from the North Pole, if it's clear, on March 20th.
And I think you were about to mention that 2 weeks later there will be a total eclipse of the moon. That's right. We will not be open. Do not come up here. It's in a crazy hour. I think totality is at
3 o'clock to 4. Oh, actually, and it's only
right
a few
at
minutes.
4 a.m. And it's like 4 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's a crazy little eclipse. But we will webcast it. And worse than that, I mean, and better still, is that it is the night of All Space Considered. So we will do the show. Then we will go to the dome and broadcast our eclipse, and we'll be up all night.
Yeah.
So
when you webcast it, don't play music the whole time. Just say, "Hey, here it is," because I was trying to listen to it and trying to sleep and get up on important things, and the music was too loud, and I couldn't hear you guys say anything to wake me up.
Oh, the music was too loud? Because we do play music. I doubt that will change, to be honest. But we will try to make sure that our balance is better so that when our voices come up, you know, the music should be low and you can go to dreamland and then, wake up!
Did you, is it that you want to be there for the events along the line of the eclipse?
Yeah.
Because those are known times we could set alarms for you, perhaps. Yeah. An alarm service.
And we can say...
Yeah.
You could have a clock that...
No, that's not what I meant, but I'm wondering, like, we can plan out when we're going to do, like,
Larry!
Yeah, exactly. to read the show. Yeah.
That's...
Hey, everybody, wake up.
You watch, so you know we're going to say that. Yeah, who's Larry? Right, that'll start a whole thing. This is, in fact, Larry. Now we're really taking time.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, so if you look off to the west as the sky's getting dark, you'll see a really bright dot in the sky. That's the planet Venus. And below it, Mars. It's about, like if you clench your fist, it's about 1 fist length or roughly 10 degrees below Venus. And then on the 22nd, so a little after spring starts, Mars will be about twice as far from Venus, and the crescent moon will also join that side. So another photo opportunity.
Yeah, more pretty pictures. Send them to us if you'd like to have them show up on the next Allspace. We'll show them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's about what Venus looks like right now. It's gibbous in a telescope. It goes through phases. In the summer, we'll see it as a beautiful crescent. But right now, it's kind of tiny, far away, and it's about 3/4 lit. In the eastern sky, as it gets dark and on until about 10 at night when it moves up high in the south, Jupiter is the other thing that will really catch your attention too. And here's a recent picture of Jupiter. You can see the red spot. Something interesting that's going on right now is that Jupiter's moons are getting in front of one another and casting shadows on one another. These are what we call mutual events. And this, shows basically how it works from Earth. Sometimes one moon will pass right in front of another one. This kind of alignment can only happen for a few months every 6 years, so we're in a good position to see that. Also, we can have a mutual eclipse where the shadow of one moon will pass right across the other one. So you can be watching, you'll see like all 4 of Jupiter's bright moons, and all of a sudden one of them will start fading. And in the time where you can actually see it fade, it will dim and then reappear. I mean, it doesn't disappear completely, but it will fade very, very sharply and then come back up over about 5 minutes or so. Here's an actual video recently of an occultation played back and forth. You can see the moons passing in front of each other down here. And in the next one, this looks odd, but it's a real image. So we're seeing one of Jupiter's moon, Ganymede, casting its shadow over on Callisto. So this is like it really is an eclipse. And this telescope was powerful enough you can actually see the shape of Ganymede over here on Callisto at different times.
So if you go to our website,
Yeah.
all of the data are there. And we'll just leave it at that. If you want to know more about it and maybe take some photographs if you're an astrophotographer with your own telescope, all the info you have. And there's always Tony.
Yeah, and also, like, I do put highlights up on Twitter, and Sky Report is on our website and available as an audio recording, and this is recorded and put on YouTube, so you can watch it again if you can't remember the dates.
You loved it so much the first time.
Early in the morning, Saturn is high up in the south as just before dawn, and on the 12th, the moon will again be next to Saturn in the constellation Scorpius. You'll see 2 bright objects there. You see Saturn and also the bright orange star Antares, the heart of Scorpius. Saturn's the brighter one. This is a recent image of Saturn by an amateur astronomer. And we see the rings are now tilted about 25 degrees to us, as they will be all year. Maximum they ever open is about 27 degrees, so getting close to that now.
So you'll notice this is what the sky looks like at 5:45 when Tony always wants you to be up and about.
It's when my chickens wake me up.
That's right. So look at the shape of the moon. So last month we showed a video of Elon Musk on The Simpsons, and someone pointed out that there's Elon after dinner at The Simpsons in Springfield. What's wrong with that picture? Anyone?
South America.
South America.
Yeah.
But I heard bits and pieces. Yes, it's as though you were seeing it from the southern hemisphere. The moon is setting. It's presumably they didn't have an all-night dinner party. It's not sunrise, it's sunset. Yet he's looking essentially north, because west is always where the sun has just gone and the moon is going to follow it. The sun is illuminating, and that's what causes the crescent. So the bright side of the moon always points at the sun. The sun just set. So he has to be looking north. In the northern hemisphere, we look south to see the moon. In the southern hemisphere, you look north to see the moon. So whoever said South America, that's right. There was a little blog post, I think, that said, oh, look, we never knew this, but Springfield is in the southern hemisphere. Had to mention that. See, that's what it actually looks like at sunset when you're looking south to the moon and the moon is illuminated on the right side.